Hey guys, it's Caleb. I'm here with ROKBLOKZ and I'm joined by a brand new Maverick X3 XRS. This is a 72-inch model. We've revamped our kit, and so I'm going to show you how to install the new kit. First, we're going to start with the front here. We have all our pieces laid out. We'll slap in the breakdown on what you're going to get. So here we have the front, and on the front you'll have your lower accent piece. This inner one will match with the lowest hole on the main flap, and then these three holes will match with here. This is designed to be detachable, and on the side without the logo and the smooth side of the material, you'll press in these M6 flange nuts so that the flange sits on the outside, because what that's going to allow you to do is go through the material and tighten it up, and that won't pull through, where if you install it on the wrong side, your flap may fall off because there's nothing capturing it. So that is how you'll want to install those flange nuts. You flip them over, invert them, and leave the flange on the inside. We have all our hardware here. We have the brackets that are needed for the upper mounts, and then the rest will replace the OEM hardware. And so to start, we're just going to go ahead and remove all of these fender bolts right here, and then we'll remove the one up by the headlight, and then we'll get started. For this upper hole, you'll need a 10mm for the back side. Hold the nut and undo it. While we're here, we'll just go ahead. We're going to reuse that OEM screw and just put our bracket underneath it. Put it so that the long side is up along the top here. Put the nut back on the back side. Okay, when doing that, you're going to want to make sure that the bracket sits flush with the plastic right there. I'm going to snug that up. Okay, with that tightened, we're going to grab our 1-inch number 10 screw and a Phillips head bit, and we're going to use the OEM dimple right here and secure the second bracket. We'll set that so that it also follows body line right there. Now we're good to grab our main portion of the flap, or the upper. We're going to go ahead and bend it at the bend line. And we'll begin mounting. We're just going to start with these couple up top. We'll want to grab the 20mm countersunks with the dress washers. We'll put these through the dress washers. Set that above our screw through. A nut on the bottom side to hold it. Just get it started by hand. And repeat that for the next hole. Now we're going to take our button heads with large black washers and just take them and put them into the OEM holes right here. That's how we'll do it for those four. This last one is going to be your longer thumb screw, and that will go through both the lower and the main body, and that's to allow it to be quick detach. So we're going to go ahead, get that started there. We'll line up our other 3 thumb screws, which will be shorter, and they'll come in from the other side. Alright, and that's that. All you'll need to do is just tuck it in tight, set it to where it matches your angles, and then snug everything down and you're good to go. You can move on to the rear. So here we have the rear. Before installing it to your fender, you'll want to put it together with these 3 holes here. Those will match, and the larger 72-inch model will have the backing plate and then your lower flap, and you just put that all together like so, and then it will go up into the fender much easier rather than trying to put it all together up there. So just put that down, install it on the workbench, align your holes here, which these 3 holes should help align everything, and once that's done, then it's a very easy install. Now we're at the rear of the vehicle. We're going to pick up our flap that we assembled. With this assembled, you can go ahead and we'll put a crease in our bend line right here. Just bend that nice. It'll relax and bring back when we mount it up there. On the rear, you will have to drill 2 holes here, and we'll get to those in a minute. But to start, we're going to remove the OEM bolt from here in the bed, and then you'll need a 10mm underneath. So we're going to remove that bolt. I believe it's the T27 and a 10mm. Take that out. Alright, with that removed, we're just going to take the nut and hold on to it. And now we're going to take a smaller Torx. This is a T20, and we're going to remove the OEM screw right underneath the taillight. And we're going to reuse that screw as well. So we'll set that next to our nut. Alright, now with this, we're going to take it and we're going to hold it up into place. This inner mounting hole here is going to correspond with that screw and nut that we took off in the bed. So that'll mount right up to the chassis right there. And we'll supply a washer. And then we'll just reuse that OEM nut. And that'll hold that in place. And then for these 3 holes, this frontmost one, we're going to use a 25mm button head. And then for these larger ones, we're going to use a 30mm button head, because they have to pass through more layers. Just go ahead, push it through, get it started by hand. Now we'll take our longer ones. Get the screws prepped with a washer. These are just going through the OEM slots that are already in the fender here, so you'll just line them up with that. for that last little screw right here at the tail end under the tail light, we have that little screw that we took out that we're going to put a washer on. If you end up having problems with that being stripped out, we do provide a larger number 14 screw to replace that. But for this one, since it's brand new, we're just going to reuse the OEM screw. Go ahead and snug that up. Snug that up. We'll grab our number 4 Allen key, or 4mm Allen key. Go through and snug these up. Now that we've got this all somewhat snugged in place, you don't need to over tighten it so that we can adjust it just a little bit. What we're going to do now is take this nose piece, and if you want, you can come around here and see. We're just going to align it with the inner body right there, and then we'll just match drill those holes. Now we'll take our last 2 25mm button heads with a washer, and we'll put one on both sides. Change that back out, put on our 4mm, take our 10mm wrench, put that on the back side. Snug that up, and you are good to go. That is the install on the 72-inch models. The 64-inch kit will be the same. Your tail section will be a little bit slimmer, and it won't have the underbrace, and the front is just a little bit slimmer as well, but this is wider for the 72-inch models to get that extra protection. Repeat those steps on the other side, and you're good to go. Alright, so we're now at the trailing arm guard. This is our full kit, and they ordered the trailing arm guards, so we're going to put them on for them. We're going to show you guys how to do so. First, we're going to take the bracket, and we're going to mount it here. So to do that, we're going to remove the bolt from the sway bar end link. That's what it's called. To do so, we're going to use an 18mm, and we're just going to use a quick little impact gun. If you're wearing headphones, sorry about that. Now we're going to go ahead, take the bracket, put the bolt through the bracket, put it right back through the chassis, or through the arm. Set that like that. Before we tighten that though, we're going to take our drill bit and a Phillips head screw. And grab the self-tapper that's included in your kit. And we're going to put it on there. Align the bottom hole. And then with medium pressure, we're going to hold that into the steel and then just slowly drive it and let it cut threads. Alright. With that going slow, it won't overheat the steel and ruin your screw. It'll just cut them nice. Now we can go ahead and snug back up this top mount. All right, there we go. With that done, we're going to go ahead and prep our screws with dress washers. Take our countersunk screws, put them through the dress washers like so. Put our thing down, put the first dress washer through the bracket, and then we're going to mount the flap and the new backing plate that we have on the front here. And then we'll take a washer and a nut and just start that by hand. We're going to do the top, and then we're going to do the bottom. That'll make the middle one easier to do. There we go. Through. Tighten that up nice and snug. Get those nice and snug, and then you can do those same steps on the other side and you're done.